Good evening. My name is John Marshall. I'm from the Social Security Administration. I'm the Chicago Metropolitan Area Working Centers Coordinator. I also am the SOAR Homelessness Coordinator for Metropolitan Chicago and Northern Indiana. We're going to be talking about whether you really need a Social Security card and when you don't. Now, if you think you might need a new Social Security card, you probably really don't. As long as you know your Social Security number and your card and you know the number on your card. Stay tuned, and coming up next is the Social Security hotline on CAN TV. Now, we want to remind viewers that you're watching a live interactive call-in program brought to you on CAN TV 21 to discuss the Social Security matters. And we invite you to call with your questions. Then the phone number is area code 312-738-1060. Again, that number is area code 312-738-1060. So your screen, so the phone number will remain on the bottom of the screen, and our phone lines are open. We are waiting for your calls, and we will get started with our topic, which is going to be about the Social Security cards and Medicare. Now, you do know that to help combat the rising threat of fraud and identity theft, the Social Security card no longer issues a Social Security number printouts. We no longer give those at the Social Security offices. And if you need the verification of your Social Security number and you cannot find your Social Security card, you need to apply for a replacement card. We no longer give out those printouts anymore. Now, do you really need a replacement card though? In most cases, you do not need a card as long as you know your number. For all intents and purposes, your number is your card. And you usually providing your number as identifying information is enough. The Social Security card was never meant to be a form of identification. And so it is mainly used for employment purposes and the like. Now, you can go to our website at www.ssa.gov and you can look up and find anything that you possibly can think of in terms of the Social Security programs that we have. And we're going to be talking about some of those programs today. Here I have with me Rocio Romain. Did I pronounce your name correctly?
Yes, Romain.
You're Romain. Okay. Tell everyone about yourself, Rocio.
Good afternoon. My name is Rocio Romain. I am a claims specialist for Social Security. The Social Security office located at 2127 West Lawrence here in Chicago.
Okay, and we were talking about, whether you really needed a Social Security card or not. And I was just telling you that ultimately the Social Security card was never meant to be a form of identification. It literally is something that you have to let you know what your number is, and you use it sometimes when for your employment and things of that sort. The only time that you really should be taking your card out of the house is when somebody actually needs to see your card for employment and things like that. What do you think, Will?
Exactly, and even in those cases, honestly, we just have to provide our Social Security number, not even the card, just the number, because it's one of the employer's responsibilities to verify the Social Security number with Social Security Administration. That's why there are some cases about E-Verify where usually it's a typo mistake, and people are, in a regular basis in our offices just because they need the proof that the Social Security number that they are alleging are their their socials. And sometimes I have seen cases where it's just a simple typo mistake, or even the date of birth, which is very common. But it's correct. You don't need to carry your Social Security. Please don't carry your Social Security card. learn the number, and that is the most important.
Yes, and your social, and keep your social security number and your card very guarded, because ultimately someone can use that card and your number to do all sorts of things, to try to open up bank accounts, to try to do really impersonate you in many different types of ways, do credit cards and things of that sort. So we always advise people to protect their social security card. Pretty much never take it out of your house unless your employer needs it when you're looking for employment. And just memorize your number, and do not give your social security number to anyone.
Exactly. Now, in the event that you do really need a car because you have lost the car, just keep in mind that one of our newest improvement with Social Security is that now you can request your Social Security card online, a replacement Social Security card online. As you can see on the screen, about the Social Security number, it gives information, just to think about it if you really need. And then in which states, if you live in one of these states, you can request your replacement Social Security card. And what are the requirements? You must be a U.S. citizen, age 18 or older, with a U.S. mailing address. You're not requesting any type of change, no name change or immigration status either, and have a driver license or a state issue identification card from one of the following states. So that's something, that's one of the improvements, a very good one, because if you haven't experienced going to Social Security office just to get a replacement card, the waiting times are very, very long. Sometimes we are talking about a couple of hours just to get a replacement Social Security card, and that is to request. You are not going to receive it in the offices, just to request, and the card will be mailed to you within 2 weeks usually.
Yeah. Yep. Now, if you need a Social Security card for your new baby to claim him or her as a dependent on your tax return, or to apply for government or social service benefits, in most cases, the application for your newborn Social Security card and number can be taken in the hospital by the social workers in the hospital, and you can apply for your baby's birth certificate when you apply for your baby's birth certificate. If not, you could request one for your child the same way you do for yourself.
Yes. So then, what else about Social Security?
Now, she made a reference about actually trying to come into the Social Security office and doing some of the things that are online that you can take advantage of, as opposed to actually coming into the office. Because yes, in most of the offices there are long waiting times. What you could do, and in order to do many things that you would normally do at the Social Security office, is to open up your free My Social Security account. And that's at www.socialsecurity.gov/myaccount. And it can help you plan for retirement, check your earnings history, request a Social Security statement. Now you can even report your wages at my Social Security my Social Security, and they have a section there called my wage report, where you can report your wages, whether you're receiving Social Security disability insurance, or you're receiving supplemental security income, and it will go directly into our systems, and you'll be able to print out a receipt for it. So yes, there's a lot of different things, including the retirement, checking your earnings history, getting estimates of your future benefits, making sure your earnings are correct, all sorts of things you could do online without ever having to come into the Social Security office.
Yes. Another thing that is very important to mention is that if you create My SSA account, or even if you go online, once you create your account, you are able to create different situations so you can estimate better your retirement benefit amount for the future, different options. What if you decide to start collecting your retirement at age 62 at your full retirement age, or even if you want to delay requesting your retirement benefit up to age 70. All those scenarios you can play and have an idea so you can plan better your future. All that is just creating my SSI account and going to that, and you can start reviewing different scenarios for your future.
Now, just to remind you that you're watching the Social Security program on CAN TV 221, and you can call us at area code 312-738-1060 if you have any questions about anything about in terms of Social Security. Rocio and I have a lot of experience with Social Security, and we should be able to answer whatever question that you have in a generalized sense. Now, if you have a specific question about your specific case, then it's best to call the 1-800 number at 1-800-772-1213.
Yes. So now let's change a little bit our topic.
Okay.
And let's talk about Medicare.
Yes.
As you may know, Medicare is usually for people 65 years old. That's the time where usually a person goes into the office and file for enroll on Medicare. But there's also for people who are receiving Social Security disability after 24 consecutive months of receiving disability benefit, they will be automatically enrolled in Medicare. Now, in regards to Medicare, many of you may have received the information that Medicare is in the process of changing those Medicare cards. Now, one of the reasons why is that up to last year or beginning of this year, all the Social Security, all the Medicare cards had a Social Security number as an identification. And just in our effort to prevent for you to become a victim of identity theft, Medicare decided to change the Social Security number for a unique code that it will be used, and it will be individual for everybody. So we are in the process of changing all those Medicare cards. We haven't sent all the cards yet. Initially, the change will be transition from April this year until April of 2019. In the local offices, we have seen instances where the person are coming worried because they haven't received the card. So if you haven't received the card, first, don't worry. It may be that it's not your time to receive a new one, but just in case, there are some steps that you can have, like review your mail. Perhaps you may have an open mail in some place in the house, so please do that. But if you still think or you need your code, you can get in contact with Social Security Administration. We can provide the code for you. The old Medicare cards is still valid. Perhaps just your health care provider just will request what's your new Medicare number. We are able to provide that information for you. Also, you can call Medicare directly. You can call them and please make sure that your address, the apartment number, is correct. Sometimes we move and we forget to notify Social Security Administration. Usually we go to the postal service, we do the change over there, but we forget to go and contact Social Security. So please, you can call Medicare. The phone number is on your card, is 1-800-MEDICARE. Call them just to make sure that your address is updated, and you can always request a replacement Medicare card. It will take 4 to 6 weeks for you to receive it in the mail, but in the meantime, you can request a temporary proof of Medicare, and the new letters will show your Medicare number. That is one of the things that we can do in order to assist you with the Medicare.
Yeah, it cannot be overemphasized is that everyone will be getting this new Medicare card with this new number on there. Is not going to, your Social Security number is no longer going to be on this new card. And until you get that card, you can continue to use your current Medicare card until you get it. Now, keep in mind, and I understand that a lot of people have come to our offices and said that when they got their new Medicare card, the envelope looked like junk mail. So pay attention to what if it's coming from a government agency, open it and make sure that you don't accidentally throw it away. But ultimately, once you get your new Medicare card with your new number on it, you can destroy the old Medicare card. But don't do it until you actually get the card itself. And so nobody can. And ultimately, you're destroying it, so no one can get your private information. And you can start using your new Medicare card right away. Your doctors, other healthcare providers, and facilities will ask you for your new number. So carry your new card with you when you need care. Now, you can keep if you have some other plans outside of Medicare, like any supplemental plans outside of Medicare, you keep your other plan cards as well. And you can use both your new Medicare card and those other plan cards when you're trying to get services for your medical conditions and for when you go see the doctor. And you should protect that Medicare number just like we were talking about protecting that Social Security number, because they're both very important to you. They're both going to be specifically identifying you to your doctors and your service providers, and ultimately they also could be can be prone to be used in order for someone to commit fraud and to be able to to basically do credit cards and do lots of things that that will challenge your identity. So keep all of that in mind.
In addition to Medicare, just a friendly reminder, the Medicare has 4 parts, Part A, B, C, and D. Part A is the hospitalization insurance. Part A usually has no premium as long as the person has worked and paid into Medicare and obtained the 40 credits. Now, Part B has a monthly premium. This year, the monthly premium is $134, and people with a higher income may be subject to pay a higher amount, and that is called IRMA, the IRMA amount, income-related modify adjust income. So that's the IRMA. Then we have Part C. Part C is also known, as you mentioned, the supplemental Medicare. Why is the supplemental Medicare? Because Medicare will cover 80% of the service. So if you are hospitalized, if you go to a doctor, Medicare will cover 80% of the bill and you are still responsible for the 20%. And in some cases, a person may decide, okay, let me get one of these supplement insurance, and they will pay, of course, a little extra, but they will be covered basically 100%. Where Medicare becomes primary, that supplement insurance will be secondary. And in cases, these companies may offer additional services, like for example, vision care or dental care. And the 4th part is Part D, that is the prescription plan. Now, one more time, a lot of claimants go to the Social Security office looking for be enrolled on Medicare Part D for prescription plan. This is a misconception, because in order for you to be enrolled on Part D, the only way you can do it is calling Medicare. You have to call 1-800-MEDICARE, have your card ready, have the medicines that you are taking ready, and they just request, I would like to enroll on Medicare Part D. They will ask you the name of your medicines and check the best plan for you.
So to review, there's Part A, the hospital insurance that that is free for everyone. Once you're eligible for Medicare. There's Part B that deals with your, your doctor's visits and deals with your, medical equipment and things of that sort. And that's normally where you would normally pay a premium of $134 a month. Some people are pay higher premiums. Now, if you're eligible for Medicaid and you have ultimately you'll be eligible for Medicaid if you have less than $1,020 in terms of income, then more often than not, Medicaid will pay for your Part B premiums. And they would, so that, because everyone wants to have Medicare be the primary provider, because the Medicare pays the 80%. And then if you have any other type of insurance like Medicaid, or if you have any of the private insurance, they normally want you to have to take advantage of Medicare and keep you on Medicare, so that Medicare will pay the 80%. So ultimately, if you have low income and you're receiving Medicaid, they will in the state of Illinois they will pay the Part B premiums for you, just so that Medicare will always be the primary provider. Part C is the like Rocio said, is the supplemental insurance. I mean, it's the insurance that will cover the other 20%. And they are, you can get that through Blue Cross or all the different types of private insurance that provides all different types of Part C benefits for you. And you just have to go to figure out which service provider or which healthcare provider is going to be best for you, and which Part C benefit is going to be best for you. Part D is for prescription drugs. And now you can have extra help in terms of paying for those prescription drugs if you have low income and low resources as well. But ultimately, that Part D benefit is for the prescription drugs. And so that's Medicare in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm. Now, what we do at the Social Security offices, we take applications for extra help with prescription plan. But that is like a subsidy, is also based on income and resources. For more information, you can go to the office. We gladly take your application, and you will be receiving the decision in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that we can mention is that just keep in mind for everybody who is a Social Security and SSI recipient, when we talking about Medicare, you need to file with the Department of Human Services of the state of Illinois for the program. The Department of Human Services have different programs, different plans. The most known is the state buy-in program, which is the one where the state pays for the Part B premium. There's also QMB, I believe it's Qualified Medical Beneficiary.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly, since we don't work over there, but go over there. You have to file over there, and you have to be patient. Those applications are not approved immediately. It takes time, and not only that it takes time, you may receive the notice that you have been approved, but it's not until Medicare receives the all those amounts from the state when they stop collecting or they stop billing you for Medicare Part B premiums. And here in the state of Illinois, unfortunately, the state usually don't pay for Part A premiums. It has been several cases when people are coming to the office, they are requesting Part A, but unless you are willing to pay out of your pocket, more likely the state won't pay for those for Part A, because Part A for someone who has not worked, it's a little more expensive than Part B. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, a lot of people have the misconception that, especially people that have disabilities that receive Medicare, think that somehow if they were to start working, that somehow that they would lose their Medicare immediately. They have but that's not true. You have at least 8.5 years where you can maintain your and keep your Medicare while you're working. So you don't have to, and it's at least 8.5 years, and so you don't have to worry about losing your Medicare when you start working. Now, keep in mind when you work and you pay more FICA taxes, you can, if you're not already insured for Social Security disability insurance or insured for retirement insurance, you can work yourself into becoming either eligible for those benefits, or you can, if you're already receiving Social Security disability insurance or Social Security retirement benefits, you can raise the amount that you're getting in your Social Security benefits just by paying more FICA taxes. And each year that you have a higher earnings that you had the year before, we can recompute your earnings to try to increase your Social Security check. So in many cases, it's in your best interest to work if you're able to.
Yep. And the way we do it is usually towards the end of the year, people who have been working will receive an adjustment effective as of January. For example, if someone worked last year, then around this time we should be receiving the new earnings, and we will recalculate, and once we readjust the benefit, it will pay from January.
Rocio, we have a caller. Let's take our call. Good afternoon. This is Social Security. How can we help you?
Hi, I'm calling to find out if someone had the disability, Social Security, and the survivors, and they wanted to work, try to work, because she's not able to stand. Would that bother what she's getting?
It depends. If she's receiving a check on the third or Wednesday of the month, she would be likely receiving Social Security based on Social Security disability insurance, and she would be able to do it based on her disability, and she would have at least a 9-month trial work period where she could work, earn as much as she wants and still get off her Social Security check. And we won't even count one of those months unless she's working and earning more than $850 a month. Once we get to the 10th month, we're going to be asking her, is she working or earning more than $1,180 a month? If she is, she wouldn't be eligible for a check that month. If she is making $1,179.99 or less, she would be able to do that and keep all of her Social Security check. And that can go back and forth for about 3 years. At the end of the third year, if she's making more than $1,180, then we would say she's potentially terminated from Social Security benefits. However, even 5 years after that, within 5 years after that, she has to stop working, she could come right back onto benefits without having to file all over again. So really, she has 8 years and 9 months in which to try her hand out and working without having to file all over again. But her check, for the first 9 months, nothing will happen to her check. And then once she gets to the 10th month, and she's making less than $1,180 a month, she's going to be able to do that and be able to keep her check.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. In addition to what you were saying, it's very important that always communicate and report to Social Security the work activity. Even
Yes.
if it's a small amount, a higher amount, it's the same for Social Security and for SSI.
We have multiple ways in which you could report now. You can do a monthly reporting, and all of our Social Security offices have a monthly reporting system that we have. You can do, if you're SSI, you can report it on a monthly mobile app. It's called a SSI mobile app, and then you can also report on the telephone. And now, if you have a My Social Security account, you can report it online as well. So we have multiple ways in which you report, but you got to report. Otherwise, you can be overpaid.
Well, John, it seems like we are running out of time. So on behalf of our hotline team, Rocio Roman, your host, John Marshall, our guest, and our phone technician, DJ Cummins. We wish you to have a very nice and pleasant evening. And please contact us again next week for another edition of Social Security on CAN TV. Thank you.
Thank you
Bye.
so much.